and welcome. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It is so meaningful to be here and to gather together, especially in such a dark time, to gather together to an organization that infuses light and joy and breaks through that darkness. Thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Danielle Druck. I am a mother of 4. I am a Tanakh teacher, but most importantly, I am a very, very proud Chabad of Binghamton alum. I know that so many of us have been touched by Chabad of Binghamton. It doesn't matter when we graduated. It doesn't matter how involved that we were. Anybody who has had some exposure to Chabad of Binghamton has had a sprinkle of the magic. It's intangible, but hamevin yavin, those who know, just know. We know what they do, we know what they have done, and we know what they hopefully will continue to do for many years. But the thing is, we don't really know. We're only touching the tip of the iceberg because there is so much that goes on behind the scenes that we don't have exposure to. So tonight we are here to educate ourselves, to learn more, to support a worthy organization that is in need of our support. We're also here to learn and to be inspired and to have fun. So take some popcorn, kick up your feet because you're in for what promises to be an informative and an educational and an inspiring night. But before we start, our thoughts and our minds are with Israel, with our brothers and our sisters, with our chayalim, with the families of the chayalim, the families of the hostages, the families who are wounded. So we'd like to start our program tonight by saying a parak of Tehillim. Please join me. Shir lamalot, esa einai el haharim me ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me ima Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Al yitain lamot raglacha, al yanum shomracha. Hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomracha, Adonai tzilcha ayad yeminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka v'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzeicha boacha me'ata ve'ad olam. In this Tehillim that we just said, we talked about what happens when we don't know what to do, when we're in dire straits, in a desperate situation. Me ayin yavo Ezri, from where will my help come? And we say, Esa einai el haharim, we look to the mountains. Why, we ask, why do we look to the mountains? Why don't we look to the sky, to the clouds, to the celestial beings? Why do we look specifically to the mountains? And I heard a beautiful answer which really resonated with me, which is, we look as high as we could journey. When we're walking, when we're hiking, as high as we could go is to a mountaintop. So when we're in a tough time, we need to do our best to push ourselves as hard as we could go, as high as we could go. And then, as Rimeim Hashem, we hope that Hashem will do the rest, which I think is a perfect segue into tonight's program. We are here tonight to climb. We are here tonight to push ourselves. We are here tonight to go as high as we could go, to climb to the top of the mountain. And with God's help, we will go as high as we could go, and He will help us with the rest. Last week, we celebrated the Hanukkah holiday. Many of us had a hard time trying to figure out how to integrate the joy and the levity and the happiness of Hanukkah with the dark times that surrounded us. We didn't know what to do. But luckily, Chabad of Binghamton knew what to do and always knows what to do and how to do it. Let's take a look at what happened during Binghamton during Hanukkah time.
אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים עם ישראל חי בעליות בירידות גם בשעות הכי קשות הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו אז מי יכול עלינו כי אין לנו עוד מדינה תעשה שלום בינינו שמור על ילדינו כי לא עבדה האמונה אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים עם ישראל חי הכי קשות, הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה, תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. ישראל, עם ישראל חי.
Wow, that Hanukkah roundup was absolutely incredible. As an alum, I take so much pride and joy in seeing what's happening there right now, and I'm sure that's true for so many of you as well. Joining us now are Mika and David Natanov and their beautiful family, whose house we've invaded for the night. So thank you so much for opening your home, and thank you for being here tonight.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. We're
Could-
so happy to host this.
Could you introduce us to your beautiful family, please?
Of course. This is our oldest daughter, Ahuva. She's 13. And Eden is 11. Our son, Benjamin, is 8. And this is our youngest, Yael. Yael, how old are you? She's 3.
Beautiful. Thank you guys for being such good sports. Now you could show off to all your friends that you were on TV tonight. So tell me, when did you guys graduate? What year?
Well, we both graduated Binghamton University in 2005, but actually we always joke that we never graduated from Chabad of Binghamton because we're still so involved today.
Are you a Chabad of Binghamton couple?
We are.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, good. So tell us, what is so special to you about Chabad of Binghamton? What makes it so meaningful?
Well, Binghamton University and Chabad of Binghamton hold such a special place in our hearts. Like we said, David and I met in Binghamton as college freshmen, and we created so many wonderful memories at Chabad. You know, Chabad created an environment for us to enrich our Jewish identities, to nourish our Jewish souls in such a fun and authentic and loving way. And we have so many wonderful memories from our time at Chabad. And what's really important to us is to continue this for the next generation of students. And now more than ever, when it's difficult to be a Jewish student on campus, we really think it's important to support Jewish collegiate life through organizations like Chabad of Binghamton. And so we're thrilled to open up our home to this worthy cause, and we're so happy to have you.
Amazing. I couldn't agree more, and thank you so much. And speaking of supporting Chabad of Binghamton, I hear that you guys are generously and graciously donors, matching donors of the campaign. Tell us, please, why that's important to you, why you decided to do that.
What motivates us to support Chabad is the clear and observable impact that we've been able to have on the organization. We've been able to watch Chabad grow from a mature campus organization to now a 40-year-old institution that's a model Chabad on campus. And what we've been able to see is that the resources that we've been blessed to be able to donate to Chabad have had a very high return. And we want to continue to be able to do that. And we just want to be able to participate in enriching the lives of Jewish college students of today and tomorrow, so that their college is enhanced and their experiences are enhanced just much the way ours were by Chabad.
Amazing. Kol hakavod. Thank you so much. Keep up the amazing work that you're both doing. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've been a huge fan of our next guest for many years, though I finally had the privilege of meeting him earlier tonight. He's not just a talented singer. He's a singer who sings so passionately, who sings from his soul, whose voice really pierces. I can't listen to him ever as background music because he stops me in my tracks every single time. That's how raw and emotional his music is. It's such an honor to introduce, live from our studios tonight, Eli Levin.
היה לי ים זמן לנוע, התחגלתי קצת בעצם ובמרחב הפתוח, רואים באופק את השמש, אין ספק אני בטוח, בסוף עתיד בהר הדרך, רק פתח לנו שערי אמונה, שערי הבנה, שאין לנו מלך אלא אתה סיבת הסיבות, אילתה אילו, קראת אילו, ורק לך נאה להודות, הכל היה אמין, לכל הלילות, ורק אתה סיבת הסיבות, אילתה אילו, קראת אילו, ורק לך נאה להודות, הכל היה אמין, לכל הלילות. ורק אתה סיבת הסיבות, אילתה אילו, קראת אילו, ורק לך נאה להודות, הכל היה אמין, לכל הלילות. גם בשעות חשוכות של הלילה תמיד יהיה כוחך קטן שיעיל לך את עצמך, את הדרך הביתה. תמיד זה הכי חשוב לפני הזריחה, מיליון רקבות בערות הדיסטרליה, מחפש רחוק את מה שנמצא לך מתחת לאף. כל מכשול זה מדליה, קם ונופל אבל בדרך שלך. גם בשעות חשוכות של הלילה תמיד יהיה כוחך קטן שיעיל לך את עצמך, את הדרך הביתה. תמיד זה הכי חשוב לפני הזריחה, מיליון רכבות דוהרות עד אוסטרליה, מחפש רחוק את מה שנמצא לך מתחת לאף. כל מכשול זה מדליה, תמיד זה הכי חשוב לפני הזריחה. גם בשעות חשוכות של הלילה תמיד יהיה כוחך קטן שיעיל לך את עצמך, את הדרך הביתה. תמיד זה הכי חשוב לפני הזריחה, מיליון רכבות דוהרות עד אוסטרליה, מחפש רחוק את מה שנמצא לך מתחת לאף. כל מכשול זה מדליה, קם ונופל אבל בדרך שלך. עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. ישראל, 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 בטבע השם. ישראל, 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 עזרא ומגינם הוא. ישראל, 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 בטבע השם. ישראל, 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 עזרא ומגינם הוא. ישראל, ישראל, בטבע השם. עזרא ומגינם הוא. ישראל, ישראל, בטבע השם. עזרא ומגינמו ישראל 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 תדבר השם ישראל 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 עזרא ומגינמו ישראל 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 תדבר השם ישראל 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 עזרא ומגינמו.
I sit in front of him?
Hi, I'm Mike Diamond. I'm an alum, a class of 99. My wife was class of 98, and I have two twins that'll be going next year to Binghamton. So we're all very excited about that. And my twins are going to be there, so I need you to give. Well, that's why we're all here. That's why you're tuned in today. We are at 66% of goal, about to hit 67% of goal, and we need you to give. All of you who are joining us today know the importance of Chabad of Binghamton. You're on this Zoom because you have family that went, you went, your children went. If you have no idea why you're on, then you should probably just give and go watch Netflix or something. But if you have a relationship to Chabad of Binghamton, you know how much good they do for all of the students that are there, and they need your support to allow them to function. So right now we're at 67% of goal. If you've given already, give again. It's like the Chicago elections. Vote early, vote often. If you have given and you've given again, text a friend, get them to give. We really want to hit our goal of $1 million raised. Rifki told me that if we had $1 million raised, the chicken soup this year will be kosher. So we are hoping that you all give. We need you to give. This year, we actually had a 30% increase of attendees at Chabad of Binghamton. It's incredible. There is no central office of Chabad that helps Chabad of Binghamton run. It is all run by donors like you. So if you've given already, give again. If you haven't, it's time to open up those checkbooks. Remember to send people to strongerandprouder.com. I'm watching the number board, and I have done nothing since I got on here 2 minutes ago. Please, I schlepped out from Great Neck from New Jersey just to get you to give. So please, please be generous. We really need it. My twins will be there next year. They need it. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Danielle.
Thank you so much, Mike. Could I tell everyone the fun fact that Mike was the Kohen who redeemed my oldest son at his Pidyon Haben? So thank you for that also. Even when we are momentarily distracted by Ellie's beautiful music and by Mike's making us laugh, our minds and hearts are still focused on Israel, focused on the hostages, focused on the war, and focused on the anti-Semitism all around us, especially on our college campuses. So here's a glimpse into what our students have been experiencing recently.
Where were you?
Yeah, I was actually at Chabad for Simchas Torah davening.
And Rabbi Slonim making an announcement that he heard that something happened in Israel, that there was an attack in the south.
And we started to hear a little bit of whispers from the police officers, and we didn't understand the actuality of the situation.
Although we may have physically been present in Binghamton, all of our being and thoughts were in Israel with the rest of the Jewish community.
You can't really do anything. You're just stuck in a really horrible position.
And the climate on campus was very hard to be around. I had many friends who were now pro-Palestinian, who were rallying against Jews, and I just didn't know how to feel. I felt alone.
My parents would tell me different things in Soviet Union, how Jews were discriminated against, and you always hear things, but you never know how much that affects you.
Now, we think twice before we walk to class. You look around you to check your surroundings.
When I think of darkness, I think tohu vavohu, before creation, before there was a semblance of anything. No focus, no understanding of what's going to come next. Where do we go from here?
Immediately after the event, it was clear that the staff at Chabad was getting together to do everything in their power to make sure that students had a place to feel comfortable, to mourn.
I definitely was able to go from darkness to light by coming to Shabbat dinner with everyone, the 500 people that we have every week.
We're not going to let anybody bring us down or ruin our Shabbos, and we're going to continue to go ahead with the hundreds and hundreds of students at Shabbos meals and services.
Since October 7th, I've been going to Minyan every day, and recently I've been learning about Hasidus and this new outlook on life.
Chabad always reminded me since October 7th to be myself, to be true to who I am, and to show my Judaism without hesitation.
Chabad at Binghamton allowed for us to have a space where we felt seen. We felt that other people understood what we're going through.
In terms of the light in itself and fostering that sense of achdut and mishpacha and family with everyone, Chabad at Binghamton, it really has served as the core foundation.
Light, is a great feeling. It's just the way I can fully interact with everybody in the world.
Light feels like you know what's happening, you're excited, you're ready to go, whatever it is.
Light looks like happiness, being all together, seeing your friends, everyone around each other.
Light feels like you have a sense of belonging, like your life has a purpose. It's like a warm hug.
There's a difference between the word friendship and family, and I feel like people who were my friends beforehand became my brothers. People who were my friends beforehand have become my sisters. And through each other, we found the light. It's through that bonding and through that sense of community, we uplifted each other.
Light to me means warmth and happiness. And I think that in general, we live with this existing light that we don't always recognize is there. And only once it's dark do we realize how bright it was in the first place.
Live with us here tonight is a student who is in the thick of things. Super cool BU senior and TikTok influencer with over 37,000 TikTok followers. That's very, very impressive. Logan Swerdloff, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's get straight to the point. Tell us what you've been experiencing on campus these days.
So I have been very active on social media about the Israel conflict, and I recently have been posting, and I've been getting a lot of negative and hurtful comments. It's been really hard. I witnessed some people say horrible things on campus. I posted about it, and the backlash is just horrible and heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this. And I commend you and applaud you for doing all that you're doing. So many people are getting their news, their information, and they're forming beliefs based on what they see on TikTok, on social media. So thank you for being a force who's standing true and telling everybody what's right. What's been the most difficult or surprising part for you about all the hate you've been receiving in this ordeal?
The most surprising thing would definitely be how open people are to just saying these things. Like, I never thought in a million years that anti-Semitism like this actually existed. I never really saw it. I was surrounded in a Jewish neighborhood. I went to a Jewish sleepaway camp. I went to, I was at BBYO. Everything around me was Jewish, and I start posting all these things on TikTok, and I just never thought in a million years that there was this much hatred in the world. It's insane to me.
I'm happy that you never had exposure to it before, but you must have had a choice when this all descended upon you. You could have stopped and you could have become more recessive, or you chose to press forward. What gave you the strength to choose to proceed?
Well, I don't let the hate get to me. It hurts, but I feel like I'm stronger than the hate, and definitely Chabad has definitely helped me through. Every Friday when I go to downtown Chabad, the students, they come up to me and they're like, Logan, we've seen your videos, thank you. And that's what pushes me through. And I've been getting a bunch of DMs from people, like children, 11 years old, and they're like, thank you, I just had my bat mitzvah, I just did this, and seeing everything you've done, it's really inspired me. And it's so amazing to see, and that's what pushes me forward, seeing that I'm inspiring other people.
Amazing. And you have 40,000 people almost who are relying on you, and I am so impressed and grateful that you are using your power for good and not for evil. So thank you so much. Keep on doing what you're doing. May you continue to have the strength and the perspective and the wisdom to just keep making a difference in the world. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you, Logan.
Nice to meet you.
Friends, take a look with me, please, how Chabad went into immediate overdrive right after the tragedy of October 7th. I know that so many of us felt paralyzed. We didn't know what to do, what to say. But Chabad, as always, knew not only what to do, but the way in which to do it. On October 8th, even before Simchas Torah was over, we were already supporting our students in conversation, in sermons, and in prayer gathering held in the last half hour of the holiday. The following day, right after the holiday, on October 9th, we mobilized a campus-wide gathering attended by over 700 students and faculty members, as well as the president and the vice president of the university. On October 10th, we had a 24-hour learn and bake-a-thon, and pray-a-thon. And on the 12th, we had a challah bake where hundreds of students came together to bake challah. On October 15th, we had a Unite for Our Home, an activity-filled event which brought students together in support of Israel and raised money to be sent to Israel. And then Chabad of Binghamton partnered with Chabad at Soroka Hospital, which is the trauma center closest to Gaza, and raised thousands of dollars to fuel the critical support work of wounded soldiers, civilians, and their families. Each day, Chabad had a mitzvah truck on campus, bolstering our students, helping them feel safe, offering them opportunities to do mitzvahs in the merit of our brothers and sisters in Israel and in the IDF. Hug of the Day students were offered a treat each day, a cup of matzo ball soup, which according to Mike may be kosher soon, chocolate chip cookies, hot apple cider, and the like. On October 23rd, students readied supplies and treats to be sent to soldiers and civilians with the Binghamton Solidarity Mission, and we'll cover that more in depth soon. The same evening, in a different space in the Chabad Center, Doctors Judith and Daniel Suker, current parents and clinical psychologists, presented to our students on how to best take care of themselves during this stressful time and how to navigate interactions with instructors or classmates who are hostile towards Israel and to the Jewish people. On the 29th, Chabad of Binghamton welcomed a new Sefer Torah, the Am Yisrael Chai Torah, in a moving ceremony on campus, and then conducted a joyous march with the new Torah towards the Chabad Center in a display of open Jewish joy and pride. On November 14th, 4 busloads of students from Binghamton joined the March on Washington in support of Israel on that powerful and meaningful day. Many, many students who did not previously have a mezuzah hanging on their door purchased or loaned mezuzahs from our mezuzah bank and affixed them to their doorposts. Throughout this difficult time, Chabad has continued to provide a seamless infrastructure of services, classes, Shabbos meals, social events, holiday celebrations, and every conceivable type of support to our students. We've also been meeting with students one-on-one to offer support and counsel and disseminate educational information about the conflict so they can be better ambassadors to Israel. We've provided an oasis of safety and of comfort, a vibrant, proud, and joyous community in which students could find support and nourishment for continued growth. None of us and none of our young people have had it easily, but Binghamton stands out as a university that has continuously embraced the Jewish community and supported our students in extraordinary ways. In Hebrew, leaders are referred to as the head or the eyes of the people. They set the tone, they chart the course, and they see further into the distance. We're not seeing this at many other universities, but at Binghamton, we are so proud with our president, Mr. Harvey Stenger, and we want to thank him for that kind of true leadership. Here he is with an important and a heartfelt message for all of us gathered tonight.
I was standing in my window when I saw the vigil, the Monday night after the terrorist attack, and that I went out there, but I didn't even remember going out there. It was as if somebody, you can think of who that might be, picked me up and carried me out there and placed me right behind Aaron. I could feel the emotion of fear that our students had, and I know that fear, as I tried to explain to the students a couple of times, fear is an emotion that's right near the surface of your skin. It just jumps right out. It's too easy, almost, of an emotion, and it comes very quickly, and it's very hard to control. Love is an emotion that's deep inside of you, and it takes work to get the love to come out of people. You know, it's hard to fall in love. It takes effort to be in love with somebody else or a group of people. And I was trying to explain to them, now's the time to work hard to bring the love out, because it can it can cover the fear, it can control the fear. And that what they needed to understand is that controlling fear right now is hard, but that they have each other and that they love each other. And that Chabad and the social aspect of Chabad, as well as the spiritual aspect of Chabad, the academic aspect of Chabad, is something that they all share in common. And through that, I believe that they will gain the power that they need to push the fear deeper inside of them.
Thank you. Oh. Thank you so much, President Stenger, for those words and for your support. I thought I came from far away from New Jersey, but now joining us via Zoom all the way from Colorado is Mrs. Melanie Avner, mom of Ellie, a current student. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here with everyone.
How you doing? How are things in Colorado?
Thank God. Things are great in Colorado. Very far from Binghamton in New York, but our hearts are with Binghamton tonight and with all of you.
I'm just curious, how did you choose to send your daughter to Binghamton from so far away? Quite the commute.
It is quite the commute, and it's not easy to get there from Denver, but it's well worth it. I actually grew up in New York State. I'm from the Hudson Valley region, so I've known Binghamton my whole life. And when Ellie was looking at schools, so she graduated from a modern Orthodox Jewish day school here in Denver, and a very small graduating class. She had 8 kids in her graduating class.
Wow.
So she knew that she wanted to go to a university with a critical mass of not only Jewish kids, but observant Jewish kids, so that she could be in a community where she kept kosher and kept Shabbat and had other kids doing that same thing with her. And she was also very interested in being in a school where kids were not necessarily religious as well, and where she would have a large group of Jewish and non-Jewish friends. That's what she was looking for, and Binghamton just fit the bill.
Beautiful. And that resonates with me so much, because I grew up in a modern Orthodox home. I went to a modern Orthodox high school. I went to seminary in Israel, and I really wanted to be in a place where I felt that I would see a little bit more diversity in the Jewish world, something that I hadn't been used to in the past. So I appreciate what you're saying about your daughter. Have you been to visit Binghamton for a Shabbos?
Yes. So we have had the privilege of being at Binghamton for 2 Shabbats. Would you like me to go ahead and share that?
Yes, tell us all about it.
Okay. Well, I'll start with our first, which was actually during COVID. So Ellie was a senior in 2021. She graduated in 2021. So as many of you know, it was a strange year to be applying to schools. We couldn't visit schools. And I had been in touch with Rivki week after week. Can we come? Can we come? And the restrictions weren't lifted. And she said, not yet, not yet. And then boom, we were allowed to come. It was the last Shabbat, or one of the very last Shabbats of the year. Happened to coincide with Shabbat as one, which is typically known as Shabbat 2000. I think the number grows every year.
Yes, in my days it was Shabbat 1000, but now, thank God, it has grown.
Right. So that year I think they changed it to be Shabbat as one because of the COVID restrictions. And we had to go through all these, register and COVID vaccines and all these different things to be able to attend. And it was going to be set up in a huge tent outside. That day, the weather was horrible. Not snow, not rain, but wind, tremendous wind.
Okay.
So we couldn't be in it. So within hours of Shabbat starting, they pivoted. Chabad pivoted and moved us all to the Chabad house in a COVID-safe way. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe the logistics and the planning it took place. I was getting texts throughout the day telling me where we should be. And it was so beautiful, and to see how everybody just made it work with joy and no frustration, no stress. I mean, there probably was, but they certainly didn't show. And we felt safe. We felt it was within COVID guidelines, whatever it needed to be. And it was just such a beautiful thing to see all these kids who you could tell had been wanting to be together for months and months and months. and Chabad made it happen.
So nice. It's interesting that you use the word pivot, because I think if you poll so many people who are connected with Chabad of Binghamton and you ask them to think of different words to describe the power of Chabad of Binghamton, pivot would be something that might come up with a lot of people in terms of they know how to pivot, but they pivot seamlessly. To your point, they're like ducks below the surface, meaning they look calm and placid on top, and they're paddling furiously below. So they know how to pivot, and they know how to pivot well. So that's a beautiful, it sounds like a beautiful Shabbos. And tell us about your second Shabbos.
I will, and if I could just add one quick thing that I wanted to share about that first Shabbos. So Rivki and I had been emailing. She didn't know Eli, obviously. Eli was a senior in high school. And we walk into Chabad that Friday night. I find Rivki because I want to introduce myself and thank her for everything. And she looks at me, she gives me a huge hug, and she says, "Where's my girl?" And she hadn't even met Eli yet. It was like, she's right here. And it was just like, we just felt the love. And she'd never even met her before. It was so beautiful. Beautiful. The second Shabbos was just recently. So we had planned to visit in October, had a trip already planned. It turned out to be the Shabbat after the war broke out. It was tremendously emotional, as you can well imagine, for everyone. And I'm going to try to get through this without being emotional. But it was, the first thing I'll tell you about that Shabbat was the security at Chabad. So as you may recall, that day was a day of rage or resistance or one of those days on campus. And there was a tremendous, we arrived on campus around noon, and there was Friday, and there was a lot of security. There was police everywhere, campus police, state troopers. And that night at Chabad, there was such a presence of police, and you felt so safe. You knew that they put the time into making sure that everybody felt safe. There was a special check-in, to make sure that everybody who was there, your name had to be given in advance. We felt so safe. And even though everybody was hurting, I have to tell you, there was such a tremendous joy with being together. And I could feel it. I could feel it among the kids. I could tell they needed it. They needed to be together. Rivki and Rabbi Slonim, they spoke and said such tremendous words about the power of being together and why it's so important. And yes, we're scared, and yes, we're hurting, but we have to be here. We have to be out. That's what we have to do. We have to hang our flags in our windows and come to Shabbat dinner and be out and be proud. And that was the message. And after they spoke, we had the lovely privilege of having President Stenger join us. He came for the meal and he spoke, and that again, just showed, I think, the kids and the community how much Binghamton values them and values their safety. And he talked about when he heard about the war, when the war broke out, and how he cried, and he sat in Rabbi Slonim's office and cried. And he said, "You will never not feel safe on this campus. We will always have your back. We will always be there for you." And it was tremendously powerful, and it was such a joyful experience.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing it. It sounds like a beautiful, moving Shabbos, and we appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You.
Although I graduated a couple years ago, and I wasn't there in a time of tragedy, I think so much of what you're saying really resonates, because the qualities and the attributes that we experience at Chabad of Binghamton transcend the year that we're there. They continue even when we're gone. So thank you so much for being here tonight with us.
100%. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful evening.
As my fellow alum realize, there's something special about being a Chabad of Binghamton alum. We joke that the rabbi and Rivki have this radar, that they somehow know everything about every person. They know who is where and doing what. Once you're part of the Binghamton family, you're always part of the Binghamton family. And like we just heard, sometimes you're part of the family before you even join the family. Nice to meet you, and here's a hug. As part of the extended family who always stays with us, we want to now hear from one of our own, from Josh Seed. He just returned home from 2 complete, uninterrupted months in Gaza. He gave some of his precious time to speak with Rabbi Levi Slonim a couple of days ago.
October 7th, already in the evening, I was on base in the south each reserve battalion has a designated base to go to in the time of an emergency. And already that evening, we were down there preparing our equipment and preparing our supplies. I don't think that there's anyone that that hasn't been affected since October 7th, since Simchat Torah. Personally, on a personal level, my wife and twin boys who are now 9 months, but they were 7 months when this broke out. Neither of us are with immediate family, with parents or siblings in the country. So it's been just as much as there's the physical and mental toll of me being in Miluim. The same toll is taken by my wife Harvey and taking care of our family on the home front, and for all the other families of those who have been called up. So it's been difficult, but I think the flip side is seeing the response by the entire civil society in terms of the amount of support around the world. Jewish communities have gathered, and I don't think anyone in Israel is feeling like Israel is truly alone in this. On a practical level, remember, already 3 days into the war, we got supplies that reached us, and the supplies are the Target brand of toiletries, meaning that somebody had already went and shopped immediately after, and things had already made our way. Which it's a very small anecdote, but it means that that Jewish communities around the world are rallying on our support. I think back to my time as a student at Binghamton, I think to the beauty of the campus, the strong Jewish community, and there's something innately beautiful in the amount of people that come out to events and daily minyanim. And I think that on just a basic level, the pride of being Jewish on campus, especially, it's all the more so important. When there's these difficult experiences in Israel, and also anti-Semitism around the world. So first and foremost, I think just feeling the strength and the pride in being a proud Jew at Binghamton, and then the support that Binghamton Jewish community and the larger American Jewish community is offering to Israel is felt. It's appreciated. It's not just a statement that America stands with Israel or Binghamton stands with Israel, because practically we feel it. And I'm not just saying that. It's the packages that we receive. It's the financial support, and it's the notes and love. It really goes to the soldiers, and those literally fighting on the front lines know that they have an entire Jewish people behind them, and those who support the Jewish people.
Josh, I'm so touched. I never met you, but I want to say thank you. Thank you doesn't seem like enough. It seems like a throwaway that a civilian says to a soldier. But thank you from all of us to you for protecting our home. We're one big happy family at Chabad of Binghamton, alum and current students, and we have so many members of our family who are serving in the IDF now, who are chayalim. So please, let's watch this tribute to those members of our family.
העומדים על משמר ארצנו. בערי אלוקינו לגבול הלבנון ועד מדבר מצרים, בין הים הגדול עד לבוא הערבה, ביבשה ובורי באבי ובים, הוא יבנה את חיילי צהגנה ולישראל, משבנה אבותינו אברהם ויצחק ויעקב, הוא יבנה את חיילי צהגנה
Is beautiful, and that was so powerful. With us tonight, we are lucky to have another alum joining us, Mayor Berkman, class of 17, and MPA, class of 21.
It's great to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Welcome.
How
Thanks
are you
for
doing?
coming. I'm good. You tell me. I don't know. You
I
tell
think
me.
you're doing incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell us, I hear you have a beautiful story about finding light within darkness.
You know, I had, it's weird to call it an opportunity, but I was in Israel on October 7th. My wife
Wow.
and I had gone there for Sukkot, and we're staying by my sister in the morning of October 7th.
Wow.
We were getting ready to celebrate Simchat Torah like everybody else was,
Right.
and not being Israelis, we weren't accustomed to sirens, right? And we woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we looked at each other, and we were a little bit thrown off. We didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Very quickly, my brother-in-law, who was nearby, came over and ran and said, "You need to come over here to the bomb shelter right away." And I will tell you that as the day went on, it seemed to get sadder and sadder and sadder as the news broke and made its way around the community. A Shomer Shabbat, obviously, community that had limited access to news. It was also one of the most inspirational times of my life.
Really? Why
Because
is
I will
that?
tell you, in the moments after Chag ended, we stayed in Israel for a little while. Our flights had been canceled, and
Right.
we didn't have anywhere to go. Myself, a paramedic, my wife, an emergency room physician, looked around to find ways that we could help. And two specific things that happened. One, we were driving to go and donate blood, and we got stuck in a tremendous amount of traffic in areas where you wouldn't expect traffic, right?
Okay.
And it turned out that the traffic was caused by people who were stopping on the side of the road to give food and drinks to soldiers.
Wow.
Right? Incredibly inspirational.
Wow.
And the moment that we got to the location where we were going to donate blood, there was a line that, I kid you not, was miles and miles long.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking about a 7 or 8 hour line to donate blood.
Wow.
And while we're sitting on this line, the sirens go off. And you can imagine hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of people sitting in this location.
Right.
And everybody runs to go inside to seek shelter. And as soon as the sirens go off, or turn off, I should say,
Right.
People don't go home because they're scared. They get right back out there, and they get right back online.
Wow.
It was the saddest time to be in Israel and the most inspirational time to be in Israel.
Wow. And to see that resilience firsthand.
Absolutely.
Incredible. So then you got back home.
Yes.
And then you went back again?
I did.
Okay.
With the support and blessing of my wife, for which I'm very grateful.
Okay.
I'm lucky to be a member of Hatzalah in Riverdale. I've been a paramedic for many years. And,
Amazing.
We had an opportunity as an organization that has a partnership with Magen David Adom to actually go back to Israel and support their efforts. Many paramedics had been called up for military service, and so they needed folks who were just able to take regular calls, day-to-day calls.
Amazing.
And if it's okay, I'd love to share just one exciting experience or one unique experience that I felt I had. You know, I had the opportunity to engage with many sad situations, patients who were experiencing medical emergencies. Almost everything seemed to be connected to a war. Even if the patient was experiencing something unrelated to the war, somehow it wound up being connected to the war.
Right.
On Shabbos, we were in Ashdod, and the closest shul to where we were staying in Ashdod was actually the local hospital. And we went to the shul, and we reached the sixth aliyah. And something confused me for a moment, because after the sixth aliyah, there was another aliyah, and another aliyah, and another aliyah, and another aliyah. We didn't do 7. We kept on going.
Okay.
Because there were so many babies that had been born that they needed to create more aliyahs for the fathers who were celebrating.
That's beautiful. I just got the chills.
And I will tell you
beautiful.
that we finished in the hospital. We finished davening. We went to have a little bit of cholent to celebrate Shabbos. And the rabbi came up to me and he shared with me what he thought was going to be a unique story about the students and the rabbi from Binghamton who had been there just a couple days earlier and brought so much energy and so much happiness to patients that were there.
Wow.
And so a full circle sort of closed. It was a wonderful experience amid a very, very sad situation.
Wow, amazing. I'm in awe, and I'm so grateful that I get to hear this story from you, and kol hakavod to what you did and what you continue to do.
Thank you.
Really amazing. Really amazing. Now we're going to check in on the campaign again.
Thank you very much for all the things that you brought us. Thank you very much for Flugat Sama. Thank you very much.
And when you come here, it strengthens us. It gives us chizuk. It gives us great, great strength.
The family that just found out this past Sunday that their loved one passed away. So they just started sitting Shiva now. We're going to go in there. This is who we are. We These kids, 10 seconds before the rocket hit, they were on the bed. Now they're here.
We're energized, we're ready to go. We loaded over 20 duffel bags of all different types of things that we're bringing, toys and stuff for the soldiers. The feeling that we all have is we are one people, one body. We're going to go and do whatever we can to be there for everybody. We'll see you in Israel.
It's when your sibling, a family member, is in trouble. You just drop everything and you go.
רוצים להגיד באמת תודה רבה לכל התורמים, לכל מי שנרתם ועזר לנו. זה מאוד מאוד חשוב, התמיכה הזאת נותנת לנו את הכוח להמשיך, ובעזרת השם עם ישראל ינצח.
I'm 30 years on the army. I didn't see in my life something like this. This is something special, your support. It's a little bit that you can do it, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Two parents were killed together on October 7th. It was the last day of Shiva ceremony.
We gave a bunch of toys to kids in shelters because they don't have no home bomb shelter.
Thank you, Binghamton.
The smiles on their faces was the reaction.
Tears in the mother's eyes, tears of joy. This is just something else.
Okay, it's the sirens we're hearing. We're hearing rockets.
Is everybody in?
The Rebbe always reminded us again and again, we're not one people, we're one body. Anyone who had a direct hit into their house and they can no longer live there, the government brought them here. These kids, 10 seconds before the rocket hit, they were on the bed, now they're here. The עיר שנקרא Binghamton, New York. אנחנו משפחה אחת, אנחנו גוף אחד, כשיש משהו פה, בשביל זה אנחנו פה, פשוט להגיד תודה רבה ושאנחנו איתכם.
To the Binghamton community, thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for all the things that you brought us. Thank you very much for Flugat Sama. Thank you very much.
And when you come here, it strengthens us. It gives us chizuk. It gives us great, great strength.
The family that just found out this past Sunday that their loved one passed away. So they just started sitting Shiva now. We're going to go in there. This is who we are. We're here. This is our family. אנחנו בארצות הברית אלפי מיילס מכם, אבל אנחנו עם אחד ביחד תמיד. I thank Hashem that we were able to do this.
I want to thank you guys for coming here another 24 hours to come and to be with us.
One of the special people who were on that special trip is with us tonight. I had heard wonderful things about the trip, but I didn't realize how quick it is. We're now privileged to have Kelvin Dickinson with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you today?
Good. So tell me, how quick was this trip that you did all that?
It was like, in 18 hours, it was the shortest week I've ever had.
Wow. Wow. What was the highlight?
So there are so many. I mean, in that space, we did so many things. It really did span the entire range of human emotion. But to me, the highlight was, as we closed the trip, we visited with an IDF unit.
Wow.
We had dinner with them, we danced with them, we heard their stories,
wow.
and just celebrated these brave warriors about to go into battle to defend our homeland.
And their spirits were
amazing, high.
Amazing, beautiful. Amazing. What a privilege to get to see that.
Absolutely a privilege.
Now that the trip is behind you, is there anything that you're still carrying around with you, something that impacted you to this day?
So many things. An incredibly moving trip. It was moving for us. We had the privilege of being moved and touched by it, but also seeing how moving it was for the people we visited to know that outside of Israel that cared about, that America cares about them, that beautiful. American Jewry cares about them. But the most important thing I think that I took away from it, aside from just the unity and the resilience of the people of Israel, is how critical it is right now that we at home tell that truth. There's so much false information being circulated. We owe it to tell the truth about what we know happened, about what Israel faces now. And it's never been more important to support a Jewish life in the US, and it's never been more important to support Israel.
Beautiful, beautiful. Couldn't agree more. Thank you for going to see that truth firsthand and going to represent the Binghamton community and the American community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We now have a minute before our next campaign update. And before we hear the numbers from Mike, there's still time. All the information that we've been hearing over the course of the night about the magical work that Chabad of Binghamton does. It takes money and it takes funds. And we need everybody who's watching right now here to please donate what you can, because we need to continue to be able to do what we do, to go support our chayalim, to go support Jewish life that's on campus, to do everything that needs to be done. So let's see now how our numbers are doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. It's me again. I thought you got rid of me. We are up to over 70% of goal, which is amazing. Danielle's done some amazing work. The number didn't go up at all when I was on, but it's gone up tremendously while Danielle was on. With me today, I have a couple of current students who volunteered to make phone calls and to help people and to try to get people to give. We got Shai and we got Scott. So I'm going to ask you guys, why was it important to you to get people to give? And why did you spend your time reaching out to people and asking them to give?
So I'm forever grateful to Chabad of Binghamton, all they've done for me. I'm currently a senior, so it's my last year here, and I'm really, really grateful for everything that the Rabbi and Rivki have done to me the last 3 years. Starting off as a freshman, not really knowing which way I could go, I realized that that following Chabad and using Chabad as a resource was super important and super valuable, and I'm forever grateful for them and everything they've done for me through my college years.
Great. How about you, Shai?
Personally, I kind of live at Chabad, so all the time I get to see everything that goes into the day in, day out of the making food for Shabbos, making all the programming happen. So being able to see everything that really goes on there, really, I have to give back to them. That's all I could do, seeing that all they do for the Jewish community.
That's amazing. Thank you, guys. We are so excited. Please make sure you're giving. Give often. If you've given already, give again. I want to give a couple quick shout-outs. Thank you so much to some of our matchers. the Natanovs, whose beautiful home we're in today, the Sohns, Lauren and Michael Schwartz, Michael and Etty Menheim, Mark and Lori Ben Ezra, Adar and Paul Hilbert, Jonathan and Amy Barron, in loving memory of Ruben Danielle. And then I also have it anonymous. So thank you, whoever you are, probably Zeif, but thank you. And then, of course, some of our recent donations, I just want to give a shout out. Please give. If you give, and I know you, I promise you I will read your name on air. But if you give a lot and you text me, I won't read your name on air. So quick thank you to John Kirsch from the WO 18, Robert Silverman, 1,000, Joanna Sandorfy, 180, Karen and Eric Shukin, 360, Akiva and Lauren Gordon, also from the WO, 1,000. We're doing amazing, but we're at 70%. We need you. Now's the time. Open up those wallets. Please reach out to your friends. Chabad of Binghamton needs you. You all know how much great work they do to help support all the students who are on campus. We all know what's going on college campuses today. Chabad is a beacon of light on college campuses for these students. They really need your support. There is no central Chabad organization that gives money to Chabad of Binghamton. It all is funded from generous donors like yourself. We really need you guys to step up here. We're trying to hit our goal. My kids are going there. They need great programming. Like I said, Rifki has pledged to me that if we hit $1 million, the chicken soup next year will be kosher. So we are getting there. We are at almost 71%, which is fantastic. So please, please, please click that donate button and make sure you give. Great. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for getting us all pumped up. And I have to say, like Scott and Shai said so beautifully, when someone lives at Binghamton, oftentimes we take advantage. We take things for granted. For example, when I was a student there, I sort of thought I appreciated what it meant to have a Shabbos dinner, a Friday night dinner, a Shabbos lunch for hundreds of people. I thought I got it. I said, wow, that's pretty amazing. But it wasn't until I made my own Shabbos meal for the first time, probably for 2 people, maybe 4 people, and all of a sudden the magnitude of it's so much work, it's shopping, it's cooking, it takes money just for my little Shabbos dinner of 2 people or 4 people. And it wasn't until then that I was able to look back retroactively and say, wow, Chabad of Binghamton does this every single Shabbos, and not just for 2 people. And that takes the work and the effort and the shopping, and it also takes the funds. So thank you, Mike, and thank you for all our generous donors. Our next guest is probably the hardest guest for me to invite. I'm sorry. See, I can't even talk. I think I was doing okay until now, and now I'm totally flustered.
She's doing amazing.
Thank you. Our next
She's a
guest
rock star.
is not a guest. Our next guest is the heart and soul of Chabad of Binghamton. Along with her husband, the founders of this spectacular organization. Everybody that thinks of Chabad of Binghamton thinks of Rabbi and Rifki Slunim. She's not only a world-renowned author and a world-renowned speaker, but she's a friend to so many of us, a mentor to so many of us. See, this is the hardest part. How do I introduce somebody who I could go on and on for the rest of the program? So I will stop, but it's an honor to introduce Rebbitzin Rifki Slunim.
Oh, Rebbitzin. The Rebbitzin part is really important. Everybody calls me Rebbitzin. It is so wonderful to see you, Danielle. It's always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, all of our friends, wherever you might be. You're here in our hearts, in our minds. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to all the matchers. Thank you to all the donors. Thank you. That's all I have to say. And God thanks you. Hashem thanks you. All the students in Binghamton, thank you.
Mike and Sarah's future students, thank you.
Mike and Sarah's twin daughters are coming.
I know you have been asked this numerous times over the years. I have asked it. I just asked it to you a few weeks ago. Sometimes things are really hard, I'm sure. What fuels you? What gives you the motivation day after day, Shabbos after Shabbos, week after week, to keep on going? You never feel burnt out?
You know, that's not a hard question to answer for a very simple reason. We're not really nice people. We're not really great people. We are propelled forward by the vision and the love that the Rebbe had and has for every person. That's how we got to Binghamton in the first place.
Could you tell us a little bit about how you got to Binghamton?
We were so young, so stupid, so naive. That's the way to do it, by the way, right? You send out this young couple, and they're just fueled by the vision, and they're like, rah, rah, siskamba, we're going to do this, and you learn a lot. But that's really what it is. And after October 7th, we knew there was only one thing. We could only look to the Rebbe's words in similar situations, and that would be our clarion call of truth. That would be our guiding light. And we're going to take a look at a segment where the Rebbe speaks a few days after the Yom Kippur War broke out. So October 1973. Look at those words.
Jeder darf doch haben Hasbora, was do an Ort, wo jeden schlagen sich. Der Boss ist das Ayini von Aisvadus, ist in die Tag von Erev Yom Kippuri. In dem ganzen Chedesh, in der Tor der Amiras von Tachnon, der Nefilas Apayim, וכו'. Ist das Simen am Bete, ist Azad, darf durch Schlilas Tachnon,
This was a revolutionary idea because everybody was very despondent. Over 2,000 casualties. Agus Rabbanim wanted to proclaim a public fast. This is what it says in Shulchan Aruch. And even if it's on Shabbos, and even if it's on Yom Kippur. But the Rebbe demanded Simcha.
Und das ist der Chechet verbunden mit der Sabal Shemte, Hawaii Zilcha, wie Ayid Fitzach Lemato, ist auch das der Rebester tut das Bedugme wie erzählt. Ist Eber bei Weißponim Shel Chedwo, und das bei Weißmen von Chedwo Milmeile. Ist doch verstandig, a das, was mir kann a Reis helfen, bei Yom im Elu, kommen das Lufton und in ein Leben von Simcha, was Simcha Peretz Gede.
You know, Danielle, that was in Yiddish, and yes, they were subtitled, but I just want to kind of tease out the Rebbe's message there.
Please.
I keep hearing from so many people about their sense of social alienation, betrayal by people they thought were their friends and their colleagues. We're talking about difficulties at work. We're talking about difficulties in the academy. It is a hard time. But what the Rebbe teaches us is we cannot marinate in fear and despair. That this is not the time. We each have to square our shoulders. We have to look straight ahead. We will come out okay, more than okay. And now is the time for each one of us to understand we each have our front. We are each a troop in this war. And we got a job to do. So I think what's important is that we keep focused on that and not get distracted by the naysayers and not let them paralyze us with fear. We can't allow that. This is the time, and the Rebbe references this beautiful idea from the Baal Shem Tov. In Tehillim, in the Psalms, it says, God is your shadow. Those words can also mean God is your protection. And the Baal Shem Tov taught that God's protection is in part, at least, very much about what we do. Just like a shadow is caused by movement of the body, so too does God reciprocate based on what we do down here. It's an audacious theological construct, but that's what we have to keep in mind now. We have to go forward, yes, in all the tragedy and all the pain. We have to go forward with light, with joy, with pride. And we have to do more. We have to love each other more. We have to increase in our mitzvot. We have to solidify our bond with God through His holy Torah. And that means us. Chabad of Binghamton has to do more. And we thank you, all of our friends, for just joining us in this venture. Thank you for being there with us for all the years till now. Thank you for being here with us in the present. And thank you for being with us as we march into the next chapter, because it's going to be glorious. I am sure of that. We are going to emerge. We'll do this together.
Amen. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that seems to be the theme of the evening, the resilience and the marching forward and the climbing to where we need to go. So thank you, Rivki, for those beautiful words. And now it's time for some music, but not just any music, music that's really, I said, Eli Levin's music really pierces the soul. He stops me in my tracks again and again and again. I don't know what my husband thinks about that, but hopefully he's not watching now. So now we have the pleasure of listening to Eli Levin with a special kumzitz.
הניסונים בצוות, בצלה ובשבר, עומדים בין בים ובין בים בבשר. אחינו כל בית ישראל, ישראל, הניסונים בצוות, בצלה ובשבר, עומדים בין בים ובין בים בבשר. המוחים ידעכם עליהם ויעצים יצרו בלי בוחר מאפל עליון ומשיבות לגאולה השם בהקלה ובזמן קוראים המוחים ידעכם עליהם ויעצים יצרו מתפלל אל הילדים שלי שלא ישו את הסחיטות שלי, שיחבקו אחד את השני, אמן שיהיו בריאים תמיד. מתפלל אל הילדים שלי שלא ישו את הסחיטות שלי, שיחבקו אחד את השני, אמן שיהיו בריאים תמיד. איך הזמן נוטס אל המדבר שאני אבא, מקץ מן הגלגות אל המציאות שאני חי בה. זוכר איך אחרי שושה נגמר אביב, מה תחכים, מה לתראה, צדיק דילו ותבין. פתאום הם שישה עוד רגע שבעה, וכל מה שהם מדהימים עבר לחץ גדול בנה למגדול, הלבן ששך הדרים. המצפון עובד כשבתות וחגים, אתם השנה כבר שנים להיות שבוע בפחדים שאני לא אספיק להגיע, לשמור לצל הושיע, לספר כמה בקליה, או כמה לב הוא פגיע. אני מתפלל על הילדים שלי שלא ישו את הסריטות שלי, שיחבקו אחד את השני, אמן שיהיו בריאים תמיד. אמן 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 על הילדים שלי שלא ישו את הסריטות שלי, שיחבקו אחד את השני, אמן שיהיו בריאים תמיד. מתפלל אל הילדים שלי שלא ישו את הסריטות שלי, שיחקו אחד את השני, אמן שיהיו בריאים תמיד, אמן 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 על הילדים שלי, שלא ישו את השריטות שלי, שיחקו אחד את השני, אמן שיהיו בריאים תמיד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. לא לפחד העיקר, העיקר לא לפחד. All right, Binghamton, let's shine it together. העיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד, והעיקר, העיקר לא לפחד, והעיקר, העיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד, והעיקר, העיקר לא לפחד. מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, להיות בשמחה תמיד. מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, להיות בשמחה תמיד. והעיקר, העיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד, והעיקר, העיקר לא לפחד. מי שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד, ולנו יש מלך העולם, הוא שומר אותנו מכולם. מי שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד, ולנו יש מלך העולם, הוא שומר אותנו מכולם. מקום בכל הזמן, יש לכולנו גדול קטן, ימים יפים וגם פחות, וביני תשובה לכל השאלות, וזה ידוע חיים ממתנה, הכל צפון לרשות נתונה. שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד, ולנו יש מלך העולם, הוא שומר אותנו מכולם. שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד, ולנו יש מלך העולם, הוא שומר אותנו מכולם. Are you with me, Binghamton? וזה ידוע חי ממתנה, הציפור הרשות נתונה. מי שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד. ולנו יש מלך העולם, השומר אותנו מכולו. מי שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד. ולנו יש מלך העולם, הוא שומר אותנו מכולו.
Thank you so much, Eli. That was uplifting and inspiring. The energy here is palpable. Everybody is so excited, and I hope you're feeling that at home too. And don't forget to please be generous and please give. Now let's take a moment with that energy to see the energy that has been happening on campus and off campus so far this year. Let's take a look at some pictures.
There's nothing quite like the Jewish community of Binghamton.
We raised $25,000 for Chai Lifeline.
We are gathered here tonight to pray, to stand with our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel.
Amazing. My head is spinning from watching all those pictures and seeing those moving scenes. And every time I hear the voice of the rabbi or of Rivki or of any of the tremendous people who help Chabad of Binghamton make it what it is, my mind continues to spin. None of this happens on its own. So now it's time for a shout out to acknowledge those people who work so hard, tirelessly, relentlessly to make everything that you have been seeing and hearing about happen. So let's first thank Rabbi Zalman and Rachel Chain, who direct education and ritual. Rabbi Levi and Hadassah Slonim, who direct development and Chabad of Downtown. Rabbi Yisrael and Goldie Ohana, who direct programming and engagement. Tragically, Goldie's father, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Itkin, passed away last night. Rabbi Itkin was a beloved teacher, always encouraging and sharing with those around him in his notable, warm, and passionate way. Whether it's through a kind word, a Torah thought, a ride, or good counsel, Rabbi Itkin's unconditional love was felt by everyone he encountered. As a devoted shliach of the Rebbe, his life of 69 years reflected the Rebbe's vision, being a lamplighter to all he came in contact with. May God console Goldie, her mother, her 10 siblings, the many grandchildren, and the entire esteemed family, together with all those that mourn Tzion and Yerushalayim. We'd also like to thank the student e-board, the G-board, the kitchen cabinet, and the many, many other students who volunteer their time. The chicken soup doesn't get made all by itself. And of course, last but certainly not least, thank you is not enough to say to Rabbi Aaron and Rifki Slonim for all that they do and continue to do, and for the wonderful administrator, Ruth. It's now time to introduce Rabbi Zalman Chain, who together with his wife Rachel direct education. I have a personal affinity for education. I happen to be a teacher, and it means so much to me to hear about the caliber of learning that's happening at Chabad of Binghamton. So thank you so much, Rabbi Zalman, for being here with us.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure and honor to be part of this team and on live right now at this great program taking place.
Great, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of education at Chabad of Binghamton?
My wife and I, Rachel, we run the various classes and educational programs that take place at Chabad. Our signature base medrash supper and study program every Wednesday evening has grown in the past year. We would say from last year, we had like 50, 60 students coming on a weekly basis Wednesday night to learn an open Beit Midrash. This year we have between 70 and 80 students. We prepare a delicious full dinner for the students to come, so they don't have to worry about dinner that night. And then they come and they sit and learn. We brought in the past 2 years, we brought in student-led Chabura. So if someone wants to come and doesn't have what they can, their own topic, so they come listen to a share on a different topic each week.
Wow.
That's one program. And then we had, for many years, we had our Jailer program, which turned into Jewish U. In the past year and a half, Jewish U has just exploded with about 100 unique students taking classes last year.
Amazing.
300, those 100 students took about 300 classes together. And then this year, that number went up to 125 students partaking in Jewish U.
Amazing. Very incredible.
And then we thank you. And then we have all the work of Jewish U. It takes a lot of coordinating, and back end is done by my wife, Rachel. She's not on the Zoom tonight, but she's the one that really interacts with every student, text message, emails, WhatsApps. When's the class? I have to miss a class, and makeup classes. So shout out to Rachel.
Beautiful. You're both doing incredible jobs, and we're so grateful to you for that. I actually had the pleasure of being up at Binghamton visiting a couple of weeks ago, and one of my former students, who I don't know how much he loved my class. I mean, he's a great kid, but I don't know how much he loved my class. And he said to me, the learning in Binghamton is something like I've never, ever experienced. He said, my parents wish I would care about my Binghamton University classes the same way I care about the learning that I'm doing. So that's a testament to you. So thank you to all that you do and your wife does and continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that little anecdote.
Thank you. As an alum, I've been carefully listening to what everybody has been saying, and speaking about education really touches me. I remember that when I came to visit Binghamton, when I came to visit, now everybody knows how old I am. When I came to visit Binghamton for freshman orientation, the summer before I began classes, I saw the Chabad table set up in the union, and I panicked. Instead of feeling good, instead of feeling like, wow, look at this support system, I said, I'm just back from my year in Israel. What am I doing here? The Chabad is for people that don't have backgrounds. They won't have time for somebody like me. They have bigger fish to fry, people who really need them. And I was completely wrong. The caliber of learning that I did with Rifki and with the rabbi, the Rebbe Sichas are not easy. They challenged me in a way that I hadn't been challenged before in my seminary learning or in my high school learning. And I learned an entire new way of approaching things, of approaching texts, of approaching Judaism. Rifki and I, during one of the breaks before, were actually speaking, we were talking Torah because the love of Torah permeates Rifki, permeates the rabbi, permeates the entire Chabad community there, and it infuses. And it depends on where you're coming from. There are people with less background to learn. There are people with more background to learn. There's something for everybody from which to learn. And I so appreciate how they know how to meet us all at the level where we are. They'll give us a class. They'll give us an inspiration. They'll give us muster when we need it. What they do is not cookie cutter approach whatsoever. It's something unique for each and every one of us. So it was an honor to learn during my experience at Binghamton and continue to learn from them even until this day, literally to today. We're now going to take a switch to go back to Mike to check in on our campaign. Hopefully he has some great news for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. An amazing job that Danielle is doing.
Oh,
really. When I knew her, she was just doing telethons for the Newman House. And now look at her. She made it to the big time. So great job, Danielle. All right, so let's look at the tally board. We are at 75%, $752,000 raised. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We're getting there.
It's Chabad. So at least let's try to get to 770 raised. Please, we are almost there. We've had almost 900 donors, which is amazing. So please, if you haven't given already, please be generous. If you have, please give again. And a reminder, your gifts are all matched. So I want to thank a few of the matchers. Again, the Ingbers, the Clafters, the Landis family, the Kahn family, Aaron Whiteman, the Stewart family, the Udlers, and the Teifels. Thank you so much for all of your generosity. I also am seeing some new names come in with some new donations. Whoa. I want to give a quick shout out to them. We got to keep giving. Please, strongerandprouder.com. A huge shout out to the Cockshores that gave $2,400. To the Berkmans who gave $1,300. The Waldmans, $720. The Poppers, $720. DZ, Doran Zeif, $180. And the Zeif.
Shout out before.
Woohoo! Beaner gave $360. Amazing. Way to go. All my favorite, former and favorite housemates of 38th Seminary. Way to step it up. Guys, I'm seeing the numbers rise very slowly. We're going to get there. Let's hit 770, people. Let's make Rabbi and Rifki Sloan and proud. Levi, I saw Levi earlier today. He said if we don't hit 770, he might be out of a job. So we don't want to see that happen. All right, we all love Rabbi Levi. So please go to the website, give, text your friends to give. The campaign is closing soon. Once the campaign closes, Chabad of Binghamton will not take your donations. They will refuse them. So now is the time to give. So please go to the website and make sure you're giving. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks. Shout out to Jake Nussbaum, Frisch alum. Saw your name pop up on screen. Thank you for your generous donation. We'd like to just send another couple of thank yous. Thank you to the Natana family again for hosting this evening. I don't know if everybody could see the plethora of wires and cameras and crew that's here, and we appreciate you guys opening your homes so beautifully and so graciously. Thank you to Shimon Sable for producing this spectacular event. Thank you to Morty Levilev for all the amazing footage. To Shammai Chen and Yisrael Grimberg of 321 Motion. To Rezathon and to Bensi Avzon. We thank you. We also thank Mendel Slunim for all your help. For those people who haven't seen Mendel in a while, he's all grown up and he's really helpful. Thank you to Eli Levin, thank you to Monsieur Lerner, and thank you to all the staff of Chabad of Binghamton, working so hard in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. We are so grateful for all that you have been doing. As a parent myself, with one kid in college and another child who's a senior navigating the process of college applications, I certainly know how much goes into choosing a college for one's child. We say little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. The challenges that we've been hearing that our college students are facing at campuses all across the country are staggering and daunting. So I'd now like to welcome, how are you?
Hi,
Mrs.
good. How
Alana
are you?
Shriver, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
You are a parent of 2 Binghamton alum.
Yeah, well, one who's an alum and another who's graduating in a year and a half.
Very nice. So tell us, first of all, about your beautiful children.
So my daughter, Alexandra, is now married. She graduated in 2021.
So nice,
And
Mazel tov.
Thank you. And my daughter, Haley, is at the Decker School of Nursing, and she's graduating in 2025.
Amazing. Wonderful.
Yeah,
so
thank
tell
you.
us about your experience as a parent with 2 girls who graduated and are in college.
So sure. What I was giving a little thought to was if I could name like one of the things that is most valuable to me as a parent. And I would say that the trust that I have in Chabad is the most valuable thing to me. The care and attention that Rabbi Slonim and Rifki give to our children is extraordinary. I remember, for both of my daughters, their first day on campus when they stepped foot at Binghamton University, they were just gathered into this beautiful, warm environment that really felt like home to them.
Yes.
And the Slonims do an amazing job of creating that warm environment, that familiar environment for all Jews, regardless of denomination and irrespective of their religious level of observance. That to me is really significant. I don't know how they do it, but it feels like home for everyone.
Yes, and it still feels like home even when we're gone. It's absolutely incredible, the microcosm that they create. And by the way, we didn't plan that. Our lovely guest from Colorado earlier this evening also told us about the warmth and the embracing. It's completely consistent for everybody. It's
Yeah.
really wonderful.
Yeah, I remember I was privileged to be part of a Shabbat, in the last few years. And one of the big things that I noticed is that from the big things to the small things, everything they do is significant. They have amazing Shabbat atmosphere. They have an extensive, programming for the holidays, for the Chagim. And even the small things, my daughter was just telling me that they provided kosher soup and snacks 24 hours a day for finals week.
Amazing.
I mean, that's a really beautiful thing. So I trust them with my own children to care for them the way that I would. I also wanted to point out, I really feel very grateful to them that my daughters did not have to choose between living their Jewish values on a college campus and getting an excellent university education. And I feel like with Chabad, they have it all at Binghamton.
And that's a spectacular point because so often parents face this versus that and aren't able to amalgamate both. So that's a very good point.
We're thrilled, we're very supportive, and I'm very grateful to them.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for telling us about your beautiful daughters. May you continue to have much nachas from them and all that they do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's now time to bring in the man who has been making all this happen for almost 40 years. I would say the man of the hour, but he's so much more than that. Beyond the man of the hour, the man of this campaign, the man of Chabad of Binghamton, Rabbi Aaron Slonim is joining us from Binghamton via Zoom, where he is manning the home front. So everybody's already giving a warm virtual welcome to the rabbi. How are you? How's it going? Could you hear us? Rabbi? Are you able to hear us? While we're waiting for him to connect to us, let's just stress one more time the importance that this night is about fun, it's about entertainment, it's about inspiration, it's about music, it's about meeting new friends and making new friends, but at the crux of it is making sure that Chabad of Binghamton reaches its goals. So please remember to give and give generously. And now with that, I'd like to welcome Rabbi Slonim. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, thank you very much for this unnecessary and I would say probably untrue introduction, because I'm just a little part in the whole organization, but not what you said. But anyways, but thank you. You just follow what you are told to say, so thank you.
Thank you.
Anyways.
How's it going there in Binghamton? Tell us what you're seeing there on the home front.
I am sitting here in my crowded office, trying to reach out to as many people as I can in the last hour and a half stretch of this campaign. And I hope very much that with everyone's effort, we will reach the goal that we set to reach.
Amen.
$1 million. And I think before I'm going to do the thank yous, I want to say l'chaim to everybody.
L'chaim. I would ask if that's Adirondack soda, but I hear there's no more Adirondack soda.
No.
For those of us who are in the know.
That's right. Maybe somewhere, maybe in the Adirondacks, there's Adirondack soda, but no more in Binghamton. L'chaim,
l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
So I want to use the metaphor of a puzzle. When you have a puzzle of many pieces and you have to put together the puzzle, the full picture of the puzzle that you want to put together, you know that every piece of the puzzle is very important to complete the entire picture of the puzzle. I believe in general, in our work at Chabad in general, there is many people who are involved, and each one brings their special piece of the puzzle to complete everything. It should be as successful as you mentioned in the last hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, but also for this campaign. Every single detail of this campaign and every single involvement from everybody, there was a piece of the puzzle to complete and to make sure that this campaign is completed. I want to take this opportunity to thank some important people who made this campaign possible and a success. First and foremost, are all the matchers. I am not going to mention all the names because some of the matchers are anonymous and they don't want me to mention their names. So therefore, I'm not going to mention the names, but you, all of you who are matchers, know who you are. And you should know that without you, we wouldn't be able to start this campaign. As I tell all the matchers, until I don't know if I have $500,000 matchers, I cannot advertise and say that we have a goal of $1 million and every dollar is going to be matched. So thank you very much. The only thing what I can tell you, you're the matchers, that the one above, the source of all the blessings, should bless you with everything that you know that you need. And more importantly, what he knows that you need, he should give it to you in a revealed way in every aspect of your life. What you know, it should be only goodness and kindness in your life.
Amen.
Another thank you goes, of course, to David and Mika, who opened up their homes. I don't think they realized what they're getting into, but I know David and Mika are people who do it with their entire goodness of their heart, and they don't care. They know that this is important, and they will do everything that they can. So thank you very much for opening up your home. And Danielle, you know that without you, this whole event would not exist, would not be as successful. And I want to say something that I hope you're not going to mind. Many other organizations who are involved, who may watched it, are maybe going to call you and knock on your door to ask you to be their MC. So if it does happen, you'll know why. But thank you very much.
It's an honor.
Thank you very much for agreeing and doing such a superb job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you mentioned already Shimon Sable and all of his helpers. And I want to give a very, very, very special thank you. And I'm doing it publicly because without him, nothing of this campaign, nothing of this event would have happened. And this is my dear son, Levi, who I should say for the past at least 3 weeks, day and night, is working in this campaign and in the success and everything what we are accomplishing. So thank you to him, and thank you to his wife Adasa, who allows him to do all this, and they should be blessed for many, many more years with true nachas, Chassidish nachas from their children, and a lot of success in everything what they are doing and going to do.
Amen.
You mentioned before the man of the hour, the man of the whatever, but you know what they say, to every man that there is somebody in the back of him, but in this case, it's in front and back and in every side. And this is no other than Rivki, who encourages and pushes and always does it with full enthusiasm. And probably I would say her piece of the puzzle is a very important and crucial piece in the entire puzzle. And last but not least, each and every one of the team leaders who are working for the last few days, but especially the last 2 days, calling, reaching out to hundreds and perhaps thousands of people, encouraging them and wanting to give money to this important campaign. I know there were times when you called, either you didn't reach or you got a no. It's a part of the work that you're doing, and you did not give up. You continue to do it. And I can tell you without any doubt that without each and every one of you, the team leaders, we would not be where we are now. And I'm sure we're going to finish up our full goal. And then the last one is thank you to all of the donors. Your whole investing, sharing, partnering with one of the most important organizations for Klal Yisrael today, and more importantly for tomorrow. Everyone knows that there is a big war in Israel, and we hope and pray that Hashem should give them the strength to have a tremendous victory very soon. Amen. But there is also a big war in the United States and all over the world, and the war is primarily taking place in the campuses. So everything which you're helping us to do, the regular programming, the regular Shabbat and Yom Tov, the classes, the programs, but more importantly right now, to be on the front lines, to help the students, to give them strength, to give them chizuk, to give them the tools how to stay strong and proud of being Jewish, and to be able to be a light into the nations to everyone else. So thank you to all the donors who are investing in doing all this. L'chaim, l'chaim. Hashem should help all of us that we should be able to celebrate only happy occasions.
Amen.
And next time when we get together, we should get together in Yerushalayim with the coming of Mashiach, who this is going to be the best solution for Israel and for the entire world. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rabbi Slonim. Thank you for that and for all that you do.
You're welcome.
I don't want anybody to think that this night is coming to a close in terms of we're done, our work is done, the campaign is done, because we are far from that. The work of Chabad of Binghamton continues. They are tireless. They don't sleep. They don't rest. They're constantly doing, providing, innovating, ideating. And we need everybody to please continue to partner to make their future and our future, and Mike and Sarah's daughter's future, as robust as it could be. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your enthusiasm. Thank you all for inspiring me. I'm walking away from tonight blown away by the passion, by the energy, by the work that everyone in our big puzzle is doing to perpetuate the Jewish community and Jewish continuity and Jewish education. So thank you all for all that you have done. We'd like to end the night with a capital lowercase e, not a formal n, because again, the work continues, but a lowercase e, end the night with Eli Levin. Thank you so much for being here.
אין לנו עמי להישאר, אלא אבינו, אבינו שבשמיים. אנחנו מאמין בני מאמין, ואין לנו עמי להישאר, אלא אבינו, אבינו שבשמיים. ישראל, ישראל ותחש, איזה נמו מגינה בו. ישראל, ישראל איזה דמו מגידמו אנחנו מאמין למאמין ואין לנו עמי להישאר אלא אבינו שבשמיים שמור עלינו כמו ילדים שמור עלי אל תעזור תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים תן לנו כוח עוד ועוד שמור עלינו כמו ילדים שמור עלי אל תעבור תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים תן לנו גל לאור הוא היושב עוד שם במורים הוא הרופא כל חולים הוא הנותן עוזך לילדים הוא העושה משפטים הוא בשמיים והוא היחיד הוא הגדול הנורא הוא השומר עלינו מצרה אלוקה שמור עלינו כמו ילדים שמור עלי אל תעזור תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים תן לנו כל אור ועוד שמור עלינו כמו ילדים שמור עלי אל תעזור תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים תן לנו גל לאור aha 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 ay ay geschmack wie je geschmack wie je de la 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 geschmack wie je oh ay 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 geschmack wie je geschmack wie je de la 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 geschmack wie je ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 Oy oy Baruch Hashem ay ay la 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 oy Baruch Hashem ay ay la 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 oy oy Baruch Hashem ay ay la 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 oy Baruch Hashem ay ay la 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 da la 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 oy 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 da la 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 hey la 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 ah la 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 oh oh la 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 du shalom moy shalom ori so no ba hashem so vi so li amay nei ato amadoina Holy Shalom, Holy Shalom, Holy Sam, Holy Samila, Bahashem Samim Samiliyamai, Meyakoni Amadona, Yidu Shalom, Yidu Shalom, Holy Sam, Holy Samila, Bahashem